Hey everybody, it's Alloy. We have a lot of new members and a lot of people of those members who signed up for Pro and Premium. As a result of that, I wanted to look over some of the more advanced features and really go into detail about what they do and what they're best at. First, I want to look at insider detection, which is one of my personal favorites. I'm going to search for AMD first because it's a stock I've been keeping track of a lot lately. I think it's sort of at its bull marker, and we're going to see it climb toward the $90 area this week or next. Now, when you use the insider detection module, what it's doing is looking for volume spikes in the past relative to 20 years of historical data. So the longer the stock has been around for, the more accurate this will be. This sensitivity slider, the lower it is, the more paranoid it'll be. The higher it is, the more skeptical it'll be about insider trading. Now, what's interesting about this one is on just about any amount with AMD, there are huge volume spikes because it's such an important company. Let's go ahead and move this slider down to what I like also sometimes is 1.8, very paranoid. Let's look for more subtle patterns. So here we start seeing them almost weekly. You can decide if you trust these by looking at the pattern. You see this bearish signal here? This is all you need to know what to look for. We have 82, bearish, 78, 76, so this is very accurate. It's worked in the past. The second it said bullish, it started to go back up. Now it's hovering around 77. If we took a look at what AMD is at today, we'll find out that the bull signals are almost always right. Isn't that something? From 77 to now where we are today. That's a lot of gains if you did what it said. Let's next look at movement predictor. Same company, AMD. Why not? Search, and it will take a moment. This is one of our heaviest artificial intelligence algorithms, but with a little bit of patience, a gorgeous graph that's really easy to understand pops up. But let's talk about some of these numbers. We have a bullish prediction, a bearish prediction, and an average of all three. You can turn off linear and polynomial regression, which are mathematical functions, and there you can use the predicted prices and real prices to compare. Predicted prices uses, again, 20 years of historical data, headlines, sentiment, and that data includes price, open, low, close, and high, as well as the volume. That is why it is so accurate. We can go ahead and zoom in and see specific predictions for where we are today. Again, let's look at where AMD landed. If you had seen this yesterday, would you have been correct if you had made a bet on it? Yes, you would have been. That's the power of digits and these really advanced modules. Additionally, I was hoping that while we were making this tutorial, someone else would be using it, but of course, market is closed, so it's not as popular at 6:11 p.m. But while we're here, let's take a look at one last thing because it's a great time. A premium feature, not pro, i.e. you don't have to pay the full pro price to see this, is dark pool trend. When you click on this, it'll load, again, a very detailed, high quality graph. From here, you can see a lot of very important information, so let's talk about some of it. I'm going to turn off the most advanced data point here, which is options risk, but we will talk about it in just a moment. Dark pool are the wealthiest people on the planet and how they spend their money. The volume of it is just that, how much money they have in the market. As it goes down, you'll notice very phenomenal information, like the SPY immediately follows afterward. Look at this sawtooth pattern, buying dips, selling, and then one day, the dark pool volume hit a low. And let's look at something. When was the last time it was this low? The COVID crash. So we knew here at Digits. Now it's a bummer for those of you who just found out about it, but we knew back in September that this was a crash. We actually made a lot of our money during this time. So this happens. You can follow this graph and understand exactly what to do every time. You'll never lose. It's very powerful. Now let's go back to the options risk thing I said we would ignore. Turn off S&P 500. Options risk is just how much prices are likely to move on a given day. This is when rich people like to leave the market because they don't want to be exposed to that risk. You, however, as a call buyer, might want to be. So keep an eye on this number too. Lastly, right here you see 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for dark pool and ratio. That means dark pool data has already updated because it is 6:13 at the time of me recording this. But the ratio right here for the dark pool has not yet updated. It will in about 45 minutes. Then we will know how many people bought puts versus calls. This concludes this video, but I hope that these 3 tools really make you feel empowered. I mean, hopefully you've understood just from these examples, I didn't plan any of this. I picked AMD because I like AMD, right? If we go to my holdings, you'll see that that's true. I like AMD. I have 100 shares. You know, I sold an AMD call or I wrote one. So this is just me talking here. We can do Palantir, we can do anything you want. But in the end, those 3 tools you'll find jive with each other a lot of the time. And if they don't, then maybe something is a little off. Maybe insider trading is incorrect or you need to move that sensitivity slider. You're going to have to experiment, but I hope you enjoyed this and learned something from it. Thanks a lot, and there's a lot more to come.